Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again. Here to bring you another video. This video is going to be doing a re-review of The Walking Dead comic book series issue 105. So I want to apologize to everybody. After reviewing my last video where I was at the park with Jess, I realized that it was not very good. It was just quick, it was a summary of it, but it just wasn't a great review, and a lot of people wanted to see me go into more detail about it, so I decided, how will I have time? I'll just go ahead and do that. All right, so as I did say in my other review, this is a pretty good episode. I gave it a 7.5, but there were some things that I didn't get around to mentioning in the issue. I did mention, or in the review, I did mention that even though on the comic you can see zombies in Carl's eye, he doesn't actually face any zombies in the issue. Although it is kind of exciting because we're kind of getting to figure out what Negan is going to do with him. And he kind of says it a few times too, that he's just kind of, he doesn't know what to do with him. So it's kind of a cool episode because we get, or issue, because we get to know Negan a lot better than we probably previously did. We get to see the inside of his headquarters. We get to see his different wives. He's got like 5 girlfriends here, and he comes back and he finds out that Amber has cheated on him, or it seems like he might have already known that before. So of course there's going to be some kind of punishment. Negan's all about rules and punishment, and it always means blood. If somebody does something, he punishes them like crazy. So in this one, he finds out that Amber has cheated on him, if you want to call it cheating, because he's got all these different wives here. We can see at least 5 of them in this picture. So there's Amber crying, and then the rest of them there. So the dude's got like 5 wives, which really, I mean, it's kind of not nonsensical to call them wives. Really, they're just probably his playthings, and essentially no one else is allowed to mess with them. And if anyone else does, then Negan's punishment is to burn them in the face with an iron. Freaking brutal. So again, Negan's a really funny character and all that stuff, but then if you break his rules, so to speak, or whatever he decides to do, then he it becomes very painful, as we saw with a character in issue 100, which I don't want to spoil. So then Negan kind of lets us know that Carl did in fact kill 6 of his men in the last issue with that huge assault rifle, and so in return, he forces Carl to show him what he looks like without his eye patch on, and this is graphic. So this is a warning to anyone if you are weak of stomach or whatever. Don't want to show this to you, but then we get to see this awesome splash page where you just see Carl and his eye is just freaking like blown out or missing, which, by the way, I'm pretty sure the dynamics of that injury in real life would kill you. I don't think it's possible to survive that because, I mean, right behind that, if the bullet did go through right here, that would go through your brain tissue, and that's not something you could survive regardless. But it's a comic book, so we're going to let it slide, obviously. It's comic book logic. If you wanted to make it more realistic, it probably should have blown out his eye, but came out here a bit. You see, and it kind of did. I mean, there is a little bit there, but you see the eye. Well, I guess the eye socket would be gone no matter what, because the eye would fall out. But it really seems like the way it's drawn that it did go through that way. I guess if you want to make sense of it, you could say that it just blew that way and came through his thing. But you'd think that the rest of his ear would be gone too, so it would have came through and gone like that, right through there, and blown off his ear too. So whatever, there's people in the forums on Roamers and Lurkers. You got guys when it happened, you got guys analyzing it. They're sitting there and they're calling doctors and asking them if it's possible to survive it and all this kind of stuff. It's just ridiculous, man. It's a comic book. Come on. I mean, there's comic book logic involved sometimes. So anyway, this is one of the funniest lines in all The Walking Dead. So Carl shows him his eye. Right afterwards, Negan says, and I quote, look at the face expression too on Negan. He just kind of looks at him like that. Like he's so enthused by what he's seeing. Like he's just like that. It's great. He says, effing Christ, man. No wonder you cover that shit up. You look disgusting. Have you seen it? I mean, have you looked in a mirror? I wouldn't blame you if you hadn't. It's effing gross. I can see your effing eye socket. Your goddamn skull is exposed. Now I want to touch it. Can I touch it? And then Carl gets upset. At first he's being a hard ass, but then after he starts to, so he's upset there, and then here he starts to cry because he's still a kid. You know, that's the thing about it. Like, he is extremely mature and everything, but kids are really like fragile when it comes to their ego and stuff, and how they look and their self image and everything. So he starts crying, and then Negan apologizes. He goes, "Oh damn, man, like, you know, I'm sorry," type thing. I didn't mean to. So that's a pretty funny part right there. They go on and talk for a little bit longer, and then one of Negan's men brings Lucille in, or his baseball bat, his vampire bat. He names his baseball bat. If you guys don't know that already, most of you probably do. And then he forces Carl to sing him a song. So Carl picks "You Are My Sunshine," which is really funny too. And I love this part. This is so genius because I could see this in real life. So Carl's singing "You Are My Sunshine," and while he's singing it, you have Negan, and he's practicing his swing with his baseball bat. You know, he's like, he's like practicing around and swinging it, and then Carl stops, thinking to himself, "What the hell?" Is he scared? And then Negan's like, "Don't let me distract you, kid. Continue." So he's singing, and Negan's like practicing, um, and so Negan says after that was pretty effing good. Lucille loves being sung to. So it's just great stuff. And then one guy comes in and tells him the iron's ready. So Negan goes down, and then he burns this guy Mark's face. And also, too, what I wanted to show in my review is that Dwight actually appears to. We never knew what happened to Two-Face, to Dwight. I call him Two-Face, but now we kind of do, because the same thing has happened to this guy Mark, is that his face has been burned. And when it happens, you can see, like, Dwight is really freaking pissed. Like he looks like he's gonna, turn on Negan anytime, any goddamn time. So that's it. And at the end, he says, Negan says, "You probably think I'm pretty effing crazy, right? You think I'm a lunatic. Now let's figure out what to do with you." So it doesn't seem like Negan's gonna hurt Carl or anything like that. Seems like he's probably going to, just probably give him back to Rick or whatever. Because it does seem like Negan actually likes Carl and respects him and thinks he's a cool kid. It's probably rare to see a kid in that kind of zombie apocalypse these days. There is also the cover for next week's issue, or next month's issue, I should say. So you have Rick fighting some zombies, Michonne. I imagine once Rick finds out that Carl's missing, he's going to go looking for him. He's going to hit the road. He's going to go after Negan, find out where he is or whatever. Maybe run into Jesus and find out where the location is, since he did escape. So I just kind of wanted to do a quick review of the issue, get my thoughts out there on it. Really funny issue. Obviously, the storyline is stellar. Can't wait to see what happens going forward. Negan is a super cool villain, man. I think he's a lot better than the Governor in the comic books. A lot more fleshed out. He's a lot more interesting of a character, I think. Now, obviously, they did have the novel for the Governor, which is really long and everything. So there'll be a lot more character development in that, of course, because it's going to center around him. But I'm just saying that in terms of the comic book series itself, from what I've seen between the both of them, because I have not read Road to Woodbury, which is the Governor's kind of novel, I'd say at this point that I find Negan to be a much more interesting character. And he's funny because he's messed up and everything, but at the same time, he's kind of like really like happy-go-lucky and stuff, just so long as nobody F's around. I think that's really, really funny, especially the weird little quirks he has, like having these 5 wives and stuff, and swing his baseball bat around while Carl's singing to him. It's bizarre, but it's funny at the same time. I like it. So this is like a Negan issue almost. It really is, because we don't see Rick in it at all. It's all Negan, all Carl. Very cool. And it goes to show, too, that The Walking Dead could work without necessarily having Rick in it. I do believe it can. So anyway, good issue. Give it a 7.5 out of 10. Thought it was pretty good. And I hope you guys enjoyed the re-review if you're still hanging on with me. I know this is going like 10 minutes, but some people like to see, longer videos where I go more in depth on things. And, I do try to do that as much as I can. I can't always do that. I know a lot of people on YouTube, they review stuff really quickly. Like, their reviews are like 2 or 3 minutes long, and that's it. I try to do, more in-depth reviews and really get a lot of things out there. So that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev. Saying peace.